A quick point about how an unreleased version of Team Fortress 2 has shaped Counter-Strike till this very day.
Boom. Headshot.
Some of the classic Counter-Strike maps included in the original version of CS are still played to this very day, in casual and even competitive matches. Two of these examples are Italy and Dust 2. Both of these maps were heavily influenced by Team Fortress. In a 2023 interview with German YouTuber The Book of Counter-Strike, one of the creators of Italy, Jason Green, had this to say.
CS Italy was inspired by the Team Fortress previews that were coming out at the time. Everybody was super excited about Team Fortress, and I think like a lot of the vibe around Team Fortress really gave us that Italian like scenery and scape, right? So
comparing the release timeline of Valve games to the release of the initial version of Italy, we notice that he was obviously not referring to the TF2 we know today. At the time, he was looking at pre-release material of the cancelled Team Fortress 2 Brotherhood of Arms, a game that was supposed to adapt the Team Fortress formula to a more realistic setting. Not only gameplay-wise, but also setting-wise. Out were the symmetrical layouts, and in were villages and cities and landing zones on beaches. The inspiration drawn from Brotherhood of Arms becomes obvious when looking at this map in particular. It is clearly set in Italy.
Like, let's make something that's in Italy, right? Nobody's doing anything that is that in that space, right? Everybody's got, you know, like there was already Dust at the time, and that was a super popular. It was honestly a little boring, right? So the Italian scape was like...
In retrospect, this comment is rather ironic. Green describes the desert style used by many Counter-Strike maps as boring, obviously referring to Dust and Dust 2. But of course, these maps would not exist without Team Fortress 2 Brotherhood of Arms either. As Dave Johnson described in his making-of articles on Dust and Dust 2, the initial idea for his now famous maps came when he looked at TF2 previews. In particular, these images caught his attention. The similarities to Dust are pretty hard to miss. The building on the left and the arches, it's clear. I have heard people suggest that this map was an outright copy, but that takes it a bit too far, I think. Dust is distinctively different. It introduces a lot of verticality, and Valve's work is rather flat, and unlike Dust, very unfinished. So definitely not a copy, but clear inspiration is visible, especially in the texture work. The sand, the road, and I think very noteworthy, this characteristic trim. And while we are talking about textures, I need to mention an honorable mention. The Inferno. And no, the Inferno was not inspired by Team Fortress 2, but the texture set used for Inferno up until Counter-Strike version 1.6 was originally created for Team Fortress 2 Brotherhood of Arms. You'll find these particular textures reused in many Valve products at the time. Day of Defeat has them, and of course Team Fortress. And even some free Half-Life mods that Valve developers were involved with. CS Italy remains popular today. Not as a competitive map, but it's still popular in casual matches. The original Dust has long lost its place in the spotlight, but there would be no Dust 2 without Dust 1. TF2 Brotherhood of Arms was cancelled, and we ultimately got a very different Team Fortress 2. And if for nothing else, the failed TF2 Brotherhood of Arms was good for getting us some absolutely iconic Counter-Strike maps. Do you happen to know any maps that were heavily influenced by other video games? And don't just say Half-Life now, because that one is way too obvious. So I'm curious to read your comments down below. If you enjoy Counter-Strike and do speak German, I want to invite you to check out The Book of Counter-Strike. The dude over there does great content revolving all around Counter-Strike, but it's German. And if you enjoyed this video, you know what I would like you to do. Give this video a like, subscribe for future content, and if you absolutely love what we do, why not consider supporting us on Patreon, as our supporters there got to see this video well before anyone else. Our wonderful supporters are Lone Wolf, Zed Gladys, Wrapped in Glass, Cookie, Thito, Rival556, Plasma, Tome, Rainbow Flash, Grizzly Bear, Strange Module, Cop Fighter, Inter, CJ Surrit, Sir K, Ramgilama, Whiskey, Christoph, MTD, Hub, Leggy Boy, Daniel, Fralem, Crony XS, Theovio, iMentrix, Amon, Ozzy Loco, Rolling Rock, Sidonai, Bobcat Racer, and Golden Fox. A heartfelt thank you for your support. To them and everyone else, thanks for watching. So, see you guys next time. Until then, have a nice day, and as always, goodbye and guten Tag.